Welcome to Tanakh Talk. I'm your host, William Hall, broadcasting live from Kingsland, Texas, USA, with another episode of TNT, the Twisted New Testament, with Rabbi Stuart, the man Federow from the Big H, Houston, Texas. Welcome back. Don't smoke crack. You know you don't ever get tired of that, right?
I get tired of it as soon as I hear it. Yes, I actually do.
All
don't
right.
understand it, don't like it, whatever.
Okay, I want to.
That's just me.
I'll try to remember not to do that again. All right, so here we go. I'm just going to give you something funny to look at there. Oh, yeah, look at you looking all handsome there. What's up?
Yes. Ta-da!
Mr. Federow with your Tanakh Talk hat on. How about that?
Yes.
You can see mine too, but I'm pretty far away.
You what?
You see the YouTube channel yet?
What do you mean?
You see the YouTube channel?
Yeah.
You see where I'm at?
You're on the bottom left.
Yeah, like with you is in behind me.
Right, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Anyway, I had a lot of fun. I spent about 2 hours today because I had some downtime, making some adjustments and using the green screen. I use the green screen off and on, but then sometimes I don't. But sometimes when I do, it just kind of like, it's good for, changing things up a little bit sometimes.
Yep.
So, okay, topic for tonight. How to counter a missionary. Quick answers to outstanding claims. And as you mentioned, it'd be a good way to come up with some quick responses that are kind of witty, something quick, something that just a derailing, you know what I mean?
Exactly. The idea is you're not going to give a 50-minute conversation about Isaiah 7:14
right, when
some missionary comes up to you and talks to you about a virgin birth.
Right.
Okay. I'm talking about here's what happened. I just saw this on Facebook or something, I don't remember, where this woman is at a grocery store and she's wearing, I don't know, Star of David or something, I don't remember what, and a stranger, complete stranger, here we go, a stranger comes up to her and says, "Oh, what's that?" And she says, "Well, it's the Star of David, it's a Jewish symbol." And the person says, "Oh, so you're Jewish. You know you're going to hell, right?"
Good golly, wow.
I mean, just like that. And
that's insane.
Well, that kind of thing's happened to me before.
It's happened to me once. That exact thing happened to me once, minus a few exchanges of different specific words, but it was all about anti-Semitism. I'm very sharp, very, very sharp. And I was like, wow, I can't believe these guys
Wait, they
believe
were
this.
saying anti-Semitic things to you?
Yeah, to me, because at the time I was in the Messianic Christianity phase, so I was just getting into this whole, the Hebrew root stuff, and we were talking to this guy, and I can't remember. He wasn't mainstream Christianity. He was a little offshoot of something else, like not Seventh Day Adventist, but another one kind of like that. And mentioned Israel, and he goes, the Jews aren't really the Jews anymore, so we're the Jews now.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, wow, really, you really believe that? That's insane.
Yes, but what do you say to something like that?
Right.
In other words, how do you respond when they say something like, you're going to hell, right? Okay. Or how do you respond when they say, we're the real Jews now? Right. And you're not going to give a 4-hour lecture on the history of the word Jew and its relationship to the nation, the southern kingdom of Judah.
Right.
Okay. So what do you say in a case like that? And that's why I thought we'd talk about it a little bit tonight.
That's a really good idea. In fact, I've never really been compelled to get out a notepad, but tonight I do. Tonight I'd actually do it because I'm not sure.
Everybody will do what I.
Well, I'm writing them down, so I could always go back and watch the video again, but I'd just soon write it down. So.
Right. Yes, mitzvah golem. I don't like cement either. It replaces the grass, so I am anti-cement-ic.
That's
his
nice.
joke, not mine.
By the way, shout out everybody: Jan, Lori, Raymond. Good conversation earlier, Ray. Maria, Mitzvah.
Lori says that just a couple of days ago she had somebody tell her she was going to hell.
Yeah, husband. Devin's good to see you guys. Larry. Hope I didn't miss anybody out there. All right, let's do them. Let's go over. First of all, I'm gonna watch. Hold on, I'm gonna watch the chat, guys. I want you to tag me in the chat to Tanakh Talk, and then put in a really quick, whatever 4, 5, 6, 8 word sentence, a single sentence claim that we need to address. We already have some.
William, how do they tag you?
You basically hit the @ symbol and without any spaces, hit @ and then spell Tanakh Talk, or just start spelling Tanakh and it'll pull me up. You just click on it. You can try it right now.
Oh, cool.
Cool. And then when you post whatever you fix to do, it'll show up yellow on my screen, so I don't have to look for it. It'll be right
Mine
there.
didn't turn yellow.
No, it will for me though. It just did. I see it. It's orange actually. Yeah.
Okay. Orange you glad.
Aren't you glad I didn't say banana again? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
here we go. Let's start with Majobri because he already pulled one up. Or she. I'm sorry.
Well, let me start with the you're going to hell.
Okay. First, let me write these down because I don't want to miss them. Hang on. Okay. So first one is you're going to hell.
Yes.
Don't start yet. You're going. Wow. I write just about as fast as I type. Oh man. Okay, and then Majobri says you need the blood of Jesus. Right. Okay, so I'm going to call that 2. You need the blood.
Yep, Stanislav. Israel isn't righteous, so they can't be Isaiah 53.
Okay, no wait, is that number 3?
Yes.
By the way, quick answer to that. By the way, Zephaniah 3:13. Look that up. Okay, so number 3 is a shorthand. What is that? As Israel can't be. Rabbi.
Zephaniah 3:13. Is that what you just said?
Zephaniah 3:13. Yeah.
Okay.
It goes with Matthew.
This is Stanislav. He says Isaiah 53 cannot be about Israel because Israel isn't righteous.
Gotcha. And that's where we need Zephaniah 3:13 because it actually tells you specifically that it is talking about the remnant of Israel. So that may be your shortcut answer there. Is just Zephaniah 3:13. Who knows? I'll say Israel can't be. Okay. Yeah.
See, again, it depends on how you want to answer. Okay. When I'm in a good mood, I may answer one way. When I'm in a bad mood, I may answer another way. Okay. And if I have resources handy, real quick, handy resources, I can get pretty mean-spirited.
Gotcha.
So let me. While you're writing these down, let me talk about something.
Okay, please do. Okay? Go ahead.
Somebody says to me, "You're going to hell," and of course, it depends on the circumstances and where I am. Let me tell you that one time when they said I'm going to hell, I happened to have an all-Hebrew Bible literally in my hand. So I said, "Here, show that to me in the Bible." And they open it up and they say it's Hebrew. They say, "Oh, I don't know Hebrew." And I said, "Wait, you don't even know Hebrew and you're trying to tell me what's in my Bible?" I said, I took the book back and walked away. And they were like, "Oh my God." My point, or you can speak Hebrew to them. It doesn't matter how little you know. Okay, you can Shabbat Shalom, Umavorach. Okay, they're not gonna, if they don't know Hebrew, they're not going to understand what you said. But when they say to you, "Oh, I don't know Hebrew," your response could be, "Wait, you don't know Hebrew, but you're trying to tell me about my Hebrew Bible?" Okay.
Right.
In other words, you're with one sentence, you're undermining their authority or ability to tell you what you're, for example, like you're going to hell. Another thing you can do, okay, when they say you're going to hell, depends on how you feel. Okay, is that's great. I'll have a lot of Christian company there.
I was going to say I'll meet you there.
But it's not just them, okay? It's Christian company. And if they give you a puzzled look, you can say, look at all the persecutions they've done throughout the world, throughout history. Their response is going to be, "Oh, well, they weren't real Christians." The answer to that is, well, how do I know you're a real Christian? Are there any Christians that'll tell me you're not a Christian? And they have to say, yes, there are Christians who will say they themselves are not Christian. So for every Christian, there's somebody else telling me that the first guy isn't really a Christian. That means there's no Christians in the world.
Okay.
My point is that not every response has to be a hour-and-a-half dissertation on some deep level, Hebraically based whatever. Okay. That most of the time they're making these comments. They're not sitting us down. They're not handing us a biblical passage to read. Okay, they're not meeting us for lunch to go over, excuse me, biblical passages. They're making toss-off comments. Okay, they even do this on internet. Okay, they do this on Facebook too. Okay, they just make a comment, and they're trying to draw you into a conversation, a long-winded defense. Because the more you invest in it, the more they think they've got their claws into you. So the shorter answer you give sometimes can be a better response.
Now here's a question for you,
Okay.
because just the one answer you gave just then is basically a blanket answer for every one of their claims.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so you could apply that
one?
the one where
Which one?
you're trying to correct me on my Bible, but you don't even know the language it was written in, but I do. So that's
Yes,
actually
exactly.
something as a blanket coverage for every topic we cover tonight. So that'll be like our master answer for all of them, and then you can add a couple to each one.
Sometimes they've said something about hell, and I will hand them an English Bible. I'll hand them a Christian Bible.
Right.
And I'll say, show me the word hell in my Bible.
Right.
Okay. And usually it's either King James bad translation, okay, or it's the word Sheol. And again, you don't want a 30-minute conversation about the three-letter root of Sheol and unknown, and it's Shoel means to ask, She'elah is a question, Shoel is to ask, Sheol is the unknown. You don't want to bother with that, okay? But putting them on the defensive is the first line of defense.
Gotcha.
The best defense is a good offense. And when they start asking us questions to make us defend Judaism, to make us defend our choices, for example, those who have left Christianity,
Right.
they win. They're putting us on the defensive. My point is that you need to immediately respond in a way that puts them on the defensive.
Gotcha.
Okay? Speak Hebrew, they're defensive because they don't know Hebrew. Ask them to show you in the Bible where it uses the word hell, where hell is in the Bible, okay? And you're putting them on the defensive. They now have to prove what they believe instead of you defend why you don't believe what they believe. You know, these are debate techniques. These are all techniques that simple arguing techniques is what this is.
Gotcha. Okay, we've got 10 topics now. Actually, I've got 9. I need one more.
I don't care, however many.
No, that's okay. 10's good because I actually already hit the button on my page. So just to run through the ones so far.
Okay, take them in order slowly.
Okay, cool. So you're going to hell now. Number 2, you need the blood. Number 3, Israel can't be as...
Let's take number 2 first.
Okay, so number 2, you need the blood. Number 3, Israel
Okay, fine.
No. I'm just reading the whole list off.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay, so 2 is you need the blood. 3 is Israel can't be Isaiah 53. Number 4, the Talmud is demonic. Number 5, the Trinity. Number 6, virgin birth. Number 7, saved by grace. Number 8, the rabbis changed the text. I love that one. And number 9, the New Testament is a continuation of the Old Testament. And so we're waiting for number 10, which might have come in by Lori Cash. Let's see. Actually, I'm not sure if that's it. She's just giving it out. Okay, go ahead. So, so right now, you need the blood. First, what was we got the blanket statement, the blanket coverage for the language part. What is a follow-up quick response for number 1, you're going to hell?
Prove to me there is one.
Oh,
Show me hell in my Bible.
Oh, yeah. Prove there is one.
Okay, show it to me in the Hebrew. Put them. My point is in every single response you give to their wise cracking. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the burden of proof does lie on them at this point.
No, it doesn't. Exactly. William, that's exactly correct. The burden of proof does not lie on us to defend ourselves and prove why we don't believe. The burden of proof is on them to show why they do believe.
Right on.
And if they are talking to people who reject the New Testament as holy writ, okay, as holy scripture, then they have to show me everything in my scripture. Okay. By the way, that's another defense. Okay, when they start quoting their New Testament, the immediate response is, you may as well quote to me from the Quran. And they usually take very great offense to that, which is a good thing.
Right. Hey, what's up, Wally?
I'm sorry?
I was just saying hello to Wally.
Hi, Wally.
Blaine Clark, Distafane, good to see you guys.
My point is that you have to keep them on the defensive.
Okay.
When they get the upper hand to make you feel defensive, you've lost.
Right.
Okay, so everything about the you're going to hell is prove there is one, show it to me in my Bible, wisecracking comments back at them like, well, I'll have a lot of good Christians in company in hell. Okay, yeah. Look at the. By the way, if Christianity is supposed to make people nicer, better people, but the people who treated Jews badly weren't really Christians, then Christianity failed to make them nicer people, didn't it?
Yep.
So why should I join a faith that doesn't work? and doesn't make people nicer and make them wind up hating Jews.
Yeah, very true.
Okay, so it's the same kind of thing when they talk about Jews who become Christians. Like Karl Marx, okay, raised as a Christian by his parents because it was a way of getting out of ghetto world. Okay, yeah, but if Marx comes up with something that's so horrific, that means Christianity had no effect on him when family raised him as a Christian. Okay, so what was the next one? Second one?
Second one, you need the blood.
Oh, the blood. Okay. This does require a little bit of knowledge and not a quick answer. Okay, but
You gonna be all right?
no, I'm not. It's my bronchitis. I still can't get rid of it. I've done everything you can possibly imagine. Okay, so they say you need the blood. Okay, immediately come up with, then how do you explain the people of Nineveh? The idea, again and again and again, I'm going to say this, is to put them on the defensive. The people of Nineveh fasted, okay? They stopped eating or drinking. They cried mightily to God. They prayed. And they stopped doing the bad and they started doing the good, and God forgave them. It says nothing in the book of Jonah how they had to have blood for forgiveness.
And also in Numbers, right. About the grain. You should bring grain and it shall atone for you.
Right. Or Leviticus, where it says, if you can't afford a blood sacrifice.
Actually, that's the one I'm thinking of, Leviticus.
Right. Okay. Leviticus 5. Okay. In other words, but don't just say, well, we don't think we need blood. Put them on the defensive and say to them, how do you defend then the people of Nineveh who offered no sacrifice for blood, and yet they were forgiven by God in the book of Jonah?
Right on.
Usually it's a blank stare, and they try to shift the topic to something else that they can make you defensive on. But there are plenty of examples. Look, they say you have to have a blood sacrifice. Well, if I can show you even one time, which is easy, but if I can show you even one time where somebody got forgiven for their sins without blood, then you don't have to have blood.
Right,
for the
absolutely.
Forgiveness
It's not mandatory, right?
Right. So a real quick example is the people of Nineveh, and everybody knows.
Right.
Okay, there's a great one too. It's a little bit more complicated, but in 2 Chronicles 7:14, okay, like Isaiah 7:14 comes up again.
Nice.
So 2 Chronicles 7:14 is that line about, and people start quoting it left and right when there's a national tragedy, or like this hurricane comes through.
So where you shall humble yourself and pray.
I'm sorry, what?
Is that the one where it says you shall humble yourself and pray, and he shall heal your land?
Right.
Let me see.
And forgive your sin. But it never says anything in that verse about blood sacrifice, and yet God forgives.
Right.
So my point is that you've got to put the person asking you the question on the defensive. They don't like being on the defensive. They only like being on the offense. They like making you be defensive to defend why you don't believe, when they should be made to prove why they do believe.
Right.
Okay. Did we finish with number 2?
Yep, that's good. Because we don't want to stay on them too long. We want to hit them quick and get out.
No, exactly. That's my point. Well, that's it. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal their land. Where in that verse does it say anything about a blood sacrifice?
Right on. Yep.
And yet every time there's a natural tragedy like a hurricane or tornado or something, I've seen this quoted on people's lawns. And they don't even realize they're quoting a verse that denounces, they're quoting a verse that actually contradicts their own religion.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Very true.
Okay, number 3.
Okay, number 3. Israel can't be Isaiah 53.
Right. Okay. Again, the idea is not to defend the Jews as Isaiah 53. The idea, in my opinion, is a quick response of why Jesus couldn't have been Isaiah 53. I'm not going to sit there and argue, is it Israel, is it not Israel? Okay?
Right.
Every verse can be interpreted. But if I can show you something that contradicts the Hebrew scriptures based on the New Testament itself, then I'm going to go straight for it and put them on the defensive.
Right. Okay.
So if they bring up Isaiah 53, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, can you tell me what Isaiah 53:9 says? Isaiah 53:9.
That's the one I'm actually going to take you to, also with Zephaniah, by the way.
Okay.
You
want to bring it up?
Yeah. First, I'm going to pull up Isaiah 53 real fast. That way
William, I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to pull it up on the screen now.
Right.
Okay, so 9 says, and he made his grave with the wicked. This is the English, of course. Made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence. This second part is a key part for Zephaniah. Because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit found in his mouth.
Right.
Right? But then you look at Zephaniah 3:13. The remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity, nor speak lies, neither shall be a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth.
Right.
For they shall fear.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
And to me, it is more important to put them on the defensive than to quote the Hebrew scriptures of Zephaniah 3:13.
Okay, gotcha.
Here's my point. Okay, I'm still waiting for it to be on the screen.
Oh, you know what's funny? I thought it was on screen. That's why I was actually reading it off. I apologize.
I don't care.
All right, so that's the there's Isaiah.
Okay, so Isaiah 53:9 explicitly equates or makes a relationship between grave and wicked, and between rich in his death.
Interesting.
Okay? Grave, wicked, rich, death. William. Okay. Who was Jesus crucified with?
The thieves, apparently.
Thieves are wicked.
Right.
So instead of grave with the wicked, in his death he was with the wicked.
What even says that? I mean, it's very clear right here, what you just pointed out. Right there it is. I'm going to highlight it right now. It says he made his grave. A grave is where you're buried. It's not where you die.
Exactly.
The grave is where you're buried, and it says he was buried with the wicked, but he wasn't buried with the wicked. He was buried in a rich man's tomb.
Right. So he got the reverse.
It was backwards, right.
Jesus reversed this. Instead of grave with the wicked, he's grave with the rich. Instead of being with the rich in his death, he's with the wicked in his death.
Absolutely. It's totally opposite. He was reversed.
Which means that here in one verse, you have now shown the Christian why Isaiah 53 could not be about Jesus.
Right on.
And you have brought into question the validity of their New Testament.
Right.
Would you mind throwing it back up again?
Yes,
the
sir.
Verse?
Isaiah?
Yeah, Isaiah 53:9.
You got it. Okay.
My point again and again and again is put them on the defensive. I was at a church answering questions about Judaism. So I love doing that. Just answering questions about Judaism. Okay. And somebody brought up Isaiah 53, and I asked the guy who asked the question to read Isaiah 53:9. He did. I pointed this out to them, and they were dead silent for I'm telling you, 30 seconds. It was like you could hear it sinking in what they had just said from their own mouths.
Right on.
Okay, so his grave was with the wicked. No, it wasn't. His grave was with the rich. He was with the rich in his death. No, in his death, he was actually with the wicked, the thieves on the other crosses. And then it says because he had done no violence.
Right.
It doesn't say he only did violence that was necessary or he only did violence that was righteous.
Right.
It says he'd done no violence.
And it's very clear he did do violence.
He
not
goes
only
and takes his own scourge to beat people with in the temple.
Not only that, even on a different level, where he actually cursed the fig tree when it didn't produce fruit, and it wasn't even the season for the fruit to be there.
What a nice guy to condemn a tree when it's not the fault of the tree.
Right.
Okay. So it's quick.
Right.
It's easy. You don't even have to go to a verse. You can, if they have the verse, they'll tell you. But all you have to do is ask them questions about their own New Testament and put them on the defensive.
Now, I can't let you leave this fast. Not this one. This one, I need you to stay here for a minute.
That's fine.
Because you're one of you're the one rabbi that actually I saw dissect Isaiah 53 in numerous places, and there's like 6 or 8 problems, not just 1 or 2. There's a lot.
No. For tonight, I'm just talking about quick answers.
Fair enough. But next time, we've already done it. We did like maybe about 6 months ago. I really would love to go over it again and just really chew it up, man. Really
now?
No. Just we'll stick with our plan for tonight, and then maybe the next show we can actually pull up and just call the whole entire show Isaiah 53:9 or Isaiah 53. Period. Right.
Not a problem.
Cool. I like
okay.
That. So y'all remind me if I forget.
Wait. His original question had to do with the righteousness of the Jews. Okay? Again, By asking the question, they're making us defend the Jews as being the object of Isaiah 53:9. Of Isaiah 53, and trying to show it can still be the Jews, and the issue of the Jewish righteousness comes into it. Here's the issue with that, just real quick. Isaiah 53 is not talking about a people who are, start over. The issue of Isaiah 53 is that somebody, a servant, who is working for God, gets into trouble when it's no fault of their own. Okay, that's the issue.
Okay.
They're not saying that the people of Israel are perfect. They're saying that when they get into trouble, it's not because of something they themselves did in order to get into trouble. That's why when Jesus starts messing around in the temple, drawing the attention of Rome and gets into trouble for that, it shows he also cannot be the servant of Isaiah 53. Because Isaiah 53 is about a servant of God who gets into trouble, even though it's no fault of his own for getting into trouble. Jesus started making noise in the temple, so he aroused suspicion, and that's what got him into trouble. So tell me, the Jews in the Holocaust deserved what they got? The Jews in the pogroms deserved what they got? The Jews in the Inquisition deserved what they got? The Jews in the Crusades deserved what they got? No. Every time they get into trouble, with good Christians, by the way, they didn't do anything to deserve it or to attract attention. The Christians came at them, again fulfilling Isaiah 53. So I wanted to clarify that for him, because his real question was about the supposed innocence of the Jewish people. The issue isn't our innocence. The issue is, when we get into trouble as a servant of God, did we do anything to deserve it on us? And the answer is no.
Right.
Okay. Okay, next one.
All right. Talmud is demonic, the oral law.
This one is so complicated because there are now websites devoted to showing passages that are supposedly in the Talmud that are horrible, they're just horrible. Okay, but unless you have the statistic I once read, William, is that the Talmud is 1.5 times the size of the Encyclopedia Britannica, and that's before you translate.
Gotcha.
Because when you go from Hebrew to English, it takes more words in English to get the meaning of his Hebrew word.
Gotcha. Right.
Okay. B'malchuto in Hebrew is one word. To translate that, okay, in his sovereignty is 3 words. So it takes sometimes more English words to translate one word of Hebrew, which means if it's 1.5 times the size of the Encyclopedia Britannica, people don't even know what that means anymore because nobody owns an encyclopedia.
Right.
Okay, but we're talking about a massive, if you don't have one in your pocket, it's kind of hard to show them that their reference to this horror stuff really isn't there, that it's a lie.
Right.
Okay,
right.
So what can you do when they say that the Talmud is filled with, I forgot how you worded it.
Well, let me give you, if you don't mind, I'll give him just an example,
okay.
a mild one. There's some really graphic examples that you would be very well to know of, but I don't want to bring them up on the show. But one kind of more milder one is Christian claims that the Talmud says that it's okay for a Jew to sin as long as he wants to. He can sin as much as he wants to as long as he doesn't do it at home. And that's the general statement, right? And so they're saying they're promoting sin, but that's not what the Talmud actually says.
That's the point.
The point is of if somebody is so determined, they're so hell-bent on doing something, you better, pardon my expression, better get your ass out of here and go far, far away and don't let nobody see this stuff. If you're that hell-bent on doing it and no one can stop you, then get out and do it somewhere else. But they don't play it that way. They play it to say, oh, if you want to sin, you can sin as much as you want to. Just go next door and sin, then come back home. Right. And it's like, but that's the exact same tactic Christianity uses in trying to make the Talmud look bad. So,
and it's the same tactic that they use on the Talmud that they use on the Hebrew Scriptures.
Right.
They take it out of context. They mistranslate. They misrepresent. And by the way, the same thing can be done to them.
Oh yes.
When they talk about the Talmud, okays anything anybody wants to do as long as it's not done at home. My immediate response is Christianity does exactly the same. Christianity says, I don't care what you do, you're forgiven because I love you. So as long as you accept Jesus, it doesn't matter if you're a good person, you're forgiven for your sin. Go out and sin some more, you're automatically going to be forgiven for it. And they're going to go, oh, wait, that's not what it says. Well, guess what? The Talmud also doesn't say what they say it says.
Right.
But you've got to keep them on the defensive. You cannot take the side of being defensive and win an argument.
Yeah, that's a good point. So what is the offensive return to this claim?
Which claim?
The Talmud is demonic. Simple.
My response is, so is the New Testament. You've got Jesus explicitly saying at the end of one of his parables, those who will not have me reign over them, bring them in front of me and kill them.
Right.
So just because I don't agree with Jesus, he's going to kill me? Okay? I don't agree with you. Should I kill you?
Right.
And that this is what Christianity says, and it's in their New Testament.
Right. Now it's spoken metaphorically, but it's still a point. It's still making a same point.
You're not, unless you can pick up the Talmud in translation and show them that what they say is there is not there, you're going to lose the argument. Your best bet is to point the exact same thing out about their holy writ,
right?
What's holy to them, and then make them defend it.
Right. Okay, number 5, Trinity.
Yep. You what?
Trinity.
What about the Trinity?
That's number 5, the Trinity. They believe in the Trinity. At least not all of them, but most of them do.
I'm not quite sure. My point is that this is what they're attacking us with.
Right.
Okay. If they say, don't you believe in the Trinity? My answer is, the Bible speaks of only one. The Bible tells me, you quote the usual Numbers 23:19, if God were a man, he'd be a liar, because all men lie. So if God were a man, then like all other men, he'd be a liar too. Okay.
There's another really good
Hosea
one.
11:9, for I am God and not a man.
Let me see.
Okay. There's plenty of examples that you can use, but my response that they said about the Trinity is the Trinity is polytheism. Trinity is more than one God.
Right.
It also depends on how they. Sorry.
That's okay.
It also depends on how they raise the issue of the Trinity.
Gotcha.
Okay. Are they going to take a look at, let us make man in our image kind of thing? Or are they going to just say, I believe in the God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit?
Right.
It depends on how they bring it up, which will determine a lot on how you react to them. But again and again, I'm going to say it. The point is, when you react, you need to put them on the defensive.
Gotcha. Okay,
They will walk away thinking they won and got another convert, or they planted the seed of faith, the mustard seed of faith in you, if you don't put them on the defensive.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. So here's my my follow up on that. So Deuteronomy 17, back on number 4, which is actually a pretty good one too. I like that.
Okay.
The Talmud is demonic, right? Oral law.
Yeah.
So Deuteronomy 17:8 says, if there comes a matter too difficult for you, it says, take it to the chief rabbis, chief whatever, and let them tell you what to do.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's what the oral law is. It's taking those complicated cases and putting them in an oral tradition. So.
But again, it is
that's defense. Yeah, it's defense.
It's defending the right of the Jews to have a oral tradition. Instead of doing that, my way of doing it is to do the same thing to Christianity, is simply to ask a question which puts them on the defensive.
Right.
Where in the New Testament does it describe how a person does a baptism? It doesn't. It only says Jesus came up out of the water. It doesn't say he was completely submerged under the water. He could have been in a bathtub 2 inches deep and come out of the water. So the question is how does your minister do a baptism, and where is it described exactly the same way in the New Testament?
Gotcha.
It isn't. Which means how they do the baptism is their oral tradition. And some of them get very elaborate, where you go in the middle of the lake and the person being baptized falls backwards. Where's that in the New Testament?
Okay, so I found the verse I was looking for the Trinity.
Which one?
It's defensive, but it's still
Where?
It's also offensive as well. Deuteronomy 4:15. Take therefore
Right.
good heed to yourselves. You
So
saw no manner of
form
simile,
of the day,
no
the
form of
purpose
anything, not male, not female, nothing, lest you corrupt yourselves and make yourself a graven image, the similitude of any figure in the likeness of male or female, likeness of any beast that's on the earth, whatever. Any of these things it's all wicked. So, I mean, there's an absolute instruction right there. I did not appear to you as a man because I didn't want you to do this. New Testament did this, and now they worship that thing.
Exactly the
polar
opposite.
opposite.
Right. You're right. Okay. One reason why I really like this verse, this paragraph, okay, verse 19.
Of this chapter?
Same, Deuteronomy 4:19. Unless you lift up your eyes to heaven, and when you see the sun, the moon, and the stars, and all the hosts of heaven should be driven to worship them and serve them, which the eternal your God gave to these nations, they can have it. Not you. You're Jews. You got God.
Nice.
I gave it to them. They can have it.
So Christianity, it's okay for them then.
Who cares what they believe? I don't care what they
believe. That's my point, though. I mean, so for the Christian believer, to the Jew, they can do whatever they want. They want to do Christmas, fine, go for it. But don't say we're supposed to be doing it because that's not right. Yeah,
Leave me alone. Let me worship my God in my way, and you go do what you want.
Perfect. That's what I'm saying. Good deal.
Okay.
Good deal.
I think it's better if they become Jews.
Absolutely.
I want them to convert to Judaism fully. Okay. I want them to have 613 commandments to elevate themselves in their lives. I want them to have a better life, not to be better than anybody else, but have a better life than anybody else because they're in very explicit, direct relationship with God who created them through the commandments.
All right, number 6.
Okay?
Virgin.
But if they don't, I don't care.
Virgin birth, number 6. We kind of covered. We're gonna kind of crisscross and overlap a lot of these points, but that's good though.
That's fine.
Let's do it.
My response is simply this: when they bring up the what'd you call it? The virgin birth.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Again, you want to make them defensive. My response is real quick. If Jesus was born of a virgin, he didn't have a biological father. How does he trace his lineage back to King David through King Solomon without going? You can give you can give all the details you want, but the question is you ask them, how can Jesus be a descendant of King David if his own father wasn't his father, but his father was God and not Joseph?
Right, got it. Okay, next.
Okay.
Yep. Good.
Wait a minute. Let me take this a little clearer. Okay.
Okay.
You have to have a lineage. In Judaism, lineage is through the father. Jewishness is through the mother. But lineage, inheritance rights, inheriting the right to sit on the throne of King David comes through your father.
Okay.
Okay. But if Jesus' father was God and not Joseph, then the lineage of Joseph is irrelevant because Jesus wasn't his son.
Right.
And so Jesus can't be the Messiah who has to be able to trace his lineage back to King David. Again, put them on the defensive.
Right, gotcha. Makes sense. Okay, all right. So number 7, saved by grace. You need grace.
Grace once pulled me out of the swimming pool when I was a kid. So I got saved by Grace. She was a nice lady.
But of course you did. Of course you are.
Yes. Okay. Here's the thing about being saved by grace. Okay. Judaism doesn't emphasize it. Judaism wants to emphasize your own ability to help yourself. Okay. But, there's kind of an idea of grace in Judaism too. There's kind of an idea that, sometimes God forgives because God is gracious of grace, pertaining to grace. God is gracious to us.
Right.
So, it's not that foreign a thing. The issue between Judaism and Christianity, however, is what can I do to get forgiveness from God? And here is a major disagreement between Judaism and Christianity. Judaism, look, we just talked about Jonah. Okay? The people of Jonah acted in their own best interest. They stopped doing the bad, started doing the good, prayed and fasted. And when God saw their works, that's a biblical verse.
Right.
Okay, Jonah chapter 3. God saw their works.
Mm-hmm.
What works? They stopped doing the evil. God forgave them. So it wasn't out of grace that God forgave the people of Nineveh in the book of Jonah. It's because the people of Nineveh themselves acted in their own best behavior to change their behavior, stop doing the bad, and start doing the good, and God forgave them.
Right.
So the idea that God only saves people through grace is unbiblical.
Yep, totally.
So again, I'd show them these verses. I'd at least talk to them about the verses and say, if God only saves by grace, wasn't it the act of the people of Jonah? By the way, did you see that meme? There's a great meme I saw about Noah. Okay, Noah wasn't saved by grace. Noah was saved by obedience because he actually built the ark that he was on.
Right, true.
Okay,
Yeah.
So that's another example.
Right.
So the idea that God only saves through grace isn't true, and the idea that we have the ability in our own hands to obtain for ourselves, forgiveness is a totally different view of humanity than you find in Christianity.
Yeah, that's very true. Completely agreed. So you feel like we're sitting in the room together yet?
No, it's not the same as having you next to me where I can punch you in the arm. Say, hey, kid.
That's funny. Oh, man. Right. Okay. So, all right. So that was
anything interesting on the chat?
Okay, not yet. But what's the quick answer for saved by grace?
The answer to saved by grace is, wait a minute. What about the people of Nineveh? They were saved by their own actions. What about Noah, who built himself an ark and was saved by the ark because he obeyed, not because of grace?
Right. Gotcha.
If he hadn't built the ark,
there's no need to be saved by grace when you have instructions on how to.
Exactly.
Right.
But again, I think that there needs to be a better answer than what you and I both just gave, because you need to put them on the defensive.
Gotcha.
And the reason and the way to do that is to say, well, how do you explain the people of Nineveh in Jonah?
Right.
Or how do you explain Noah, who wasn't saved by? By the way, why did Noah get picked by God to be saved? Because he was a righteous man.
Yeah.
It says so. So
okay, so number 8, I love this one. The rabbis changed the text. The funniest thing, not funny. It wasn't funny. I thought it was serious, but they said that they removed Isaiah 53 out of the Parsha Haftarah because they were trying to hide, or they just were trying to hate on Jesus, whatever that was. So that'll be interesting.
And my question is right back at them. They bring that up. The first thing I'm going to do is ask them, what they're talking about is the passages from the prophets that were read in conjunction with the reading from the Torah portion. So you got the 5 books, the reading from the 5 books of Moses, and then there's also a reading from the prophets.
Hey, Rabbi, do me a favor. I want to catch this real fast before I forget it. So Tovia Saverstein, if I said that right, you ask a question, and the reason is because that person did not like someone I had on my show. Plain and simple. Just like that. That's what it's all about. So
but you still have me anyway.
No, it's not you. It's not you. It's someone else.
Yeah, you're just being nice. I know.
No. I'm trying to be careful not to say too much on the air. So So anyway, there's your answer. So okay, carry on. Okay.
Okay, what were we talking about? I forgot already. Seriously, what were we? Seriously, my mind's blank.
Tovia, my pleasure. Thank you for asking it gently as well. So okay, so we're discussing rabbis changed the text. So shame on you. Shame on you.
Okay.
Just kidding.
They're talking about Isaiah 53, and they're talking about how Isaiah 53 is hidden from the Jewish people. Okay, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah. Well, no, it's not just the one thing. It's just in general. I've heard numerous times in my years that the Jewish people have changed. They've changed the Hebrew scriptures so that they don't match the New Testament.
Right. So
like all over the place.
What they're saying is the Jews don't really hold their holy scriptures as holy because we feel we have the right to change our holy scriptures, so we don't really deem them as holy. Obviously, they don't understand what canon means. They don't
That's
understand what
interesting,
holy means. They don't understand what Holy Scriptures means. They don't understand what Holy Writ means. It means that it's set in stone. You can't change it anymore. Okay, but I can show you 10
Oh, now
examples.
that's funny. Yasmin Coates said something really cute.
What was that?
She said, funny, since they claim the rabbis changed the text and they can't even read the original text themselves to say that.
That's perfect.
That is so good.
Nina, that is perfect.
That is such. In fact, that probably should be the go-to answer.
As a matter of fact, that should be the go-to answer.
Yeah, that's good.
Ask them what the Hebrew actually says, and they'll say, "I don't know Hebrew." Then don't tell me that you think they've changed the text.
Yeah, thank you, Yasmin. That was a great
perfect.
answer. Great answer. Okay, cool. All right, so number 9, New Testament is a continuation of the Old Testament. That is a foreshadowing of the Old Testament is a foreshadowing of things to come.
Then why does the New Testament disagree so often with the Hebrew Scriptures?
Word.
They'll go, huh? And again, you go back to the same. Look, there are certain quotes that I wish everybody would memorize. Okay? No man shall be put to death for the sin of his children. No child will be put to death for the sin of his parents. Every man shall be put to death for his own sin. If every man shall be put to death for his own sin, Jesus cannot die for your sin. Deuteronomy 24:16. Everybody should memorize Deuteronomy 24:16 because it doesn't matter what they do with the Talmud. It doesn't matter what they do with Isaiah. It doesn't matter what they do with anything. You've got a very specific verse with a very specific meaning that is extremely difficult to spin, okay, to interpret out of existence,
right,
that explicitly says every man shall be put to death for his own sin. Ish b'chet-o yumatu. Ish b'chet-o yumatu. It's simple. It's pashat. It is obvious. It is literal. It is easy. It is not difficult. Okay, and everything should go back to that. So when they say that, to me, it's the Christianity that how could it be a direct result of Judaism when it contradicts our Hebrew Scriptures? Okay, another thing to say, in my opinion. Okay. Do Christians believe in the Hebrew Scriptures? Yes. Okay. They may change things. They may say we get things wrong. They may say we don't understand our own Scriptures, whatever. But by and large, they have to say that our Hebrew Scriptures is from God. Do Muslims also say that the Hebrew Scriptures comes from God? Yes, they do. They may say we changed things. Sounds like Christians. They may say we perverted things. Sounds like Christians. But they still have to say the basis of what we have comes from God.
Right.
So if the basis of what we have comes from God, Judaism believes that the Hebrew Scriptures comes from God, but the Hebrew Scriptures coming from God tells us to believe certain things that contradict Christianity. We've got no choice but to reject Christianity. It's that simple.
What is the what was the joke Rabbi Singer had recalled one time about why did God create Christianity is so that why did God create Muslims so Christians would know how somebody,
no
how's that
Mormons. Why did God create Mormonism? Because then Christians will know how Jews feel.
Oh yeah. That is so true.
Right.
It's a joke, but it's so true.
Exactly.
Wow. Insane.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, they Mormons want to believe they're the real Jews.
Right.
Okay. Mormons also want to believe they're the real Christianity.
Right.
So it teaches Christians how Jews feel when Christians tell Jews that Christians are the real Jews and Christians are the real keeper of the covenant.
Right. That's funny.
Everybody wants to be the Jews, don't they?
Yep,
they tell the Jews we're not the real Jews. They tell us that they're the real Jews. Okay. They put down the Jewish community. They say we don't understand, but they're the ones who want to be the Jews.
Yep.
That's what the whole idea of new covenant means.
Right.
Which is actually very funny, you know.
Yeah, it's very funny, actually. Yeah.
Dystopian Dissident says Roseanne Barr went to rabbinical school and passed somehow. I'd love to know what rabbinical school she went to. There are plenty online. You can get a rabbinical degree. You can become ordained as a rabbi for
they also say
$8,000 in less than a year.
And they also say Madonna was a Kabbalist.
Yeah.
Go
Boy, did she turn on the Jews.
No kidding. The Kabbalah that she definitely was doing had nothing to do with true Kabbalah.
Real Kabbalah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You know, it's really funny. That's another great one we should add too.
You know something, William? Maybe
Yes,
you and I should start a cult so we can get our hands in other people's pocketbooks too.
That's funny. Yeah. Sadly. Okay, so number 10.
Yep.
Jesus died for your sins.
Again, Deuteronomy 24:16. Everybody is put to death for his own sin. It contradicts us. How can they, again, put it in a way that they have to become defensive?
Human sacrifice.
What?
Human sacrifice.
Human sacrifice.
I mean, is there a specific address?
By the way, eventually they will say, "Well, Jesus was God," and my answer is always the same.
Oh no, no! I did this on purpose. I wrote this last one because I want you to pull something out. Sacrifice. You said this. You're the only person I ever heard say this before, and it's so brilliant.
Well, of course.
Sacrifices have to stay dead.
I'm not the one who said that.
Oh, you must have repeated it then, because I heard you repeat.
Actually, I think it was Michael Skobac. But
sacrifices have to stay dead. You can't lose. You can't sacrifice your life if you're only giving up your weekend.
Yes.
Right.
No, I'm the one who said give up your weekend.
Yeah. Okay. So you use that spin up, but that was still good
Friday,
though. Right.
Supposedly, he came back to life on a Sunday, and when he came back to life, he was still God. He was still everything. So all he did was give up a weekend. That's not a sacrifice. Right. Yes. That part I said, but the idea.
Okay. Cool. Very nice. So you refined that. Very good.
Right. Yes.
Awesome. Wow. Larry Beck says Madonna learned under Berg. I don't know who Berg is. I know who
Berg is. Michael Berg, the founder of Kabbalah Center.
Oh, Michael Berg. Oh, yeah. Okay, got you. Right. Very
Michael? Good. Wait, I'm not sure what his first name is.
So Berg is the last name, is my point. I don't know.
B-E-R-G, yes.
Yeah. I recognize it now that you mentioned that. Okay, so. Okay.
Yeah, by the way, I really resent the flying spaghetti monster.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
Flying spaghetti monster was a way of making fun of people who believe in God. Because they would say, well, I may as well believe in a flying spaghetti monster. So there's a whole bunch of spaghetti mixed up with each other and all this, and then it has wings on it, and they'll make fun of it like that's God. You know, it's a way to make fun of people who believe in God. You know, and you'll see bumper stickers and things to the flying spaghetti monster. You know, you believe in God, you may as well believe in this flying spaghetti monster.
Right. Yep. Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah,
man, I'll tell you what, this was probably one of the funnest shows to date. I think because we covered so much territory so fast, and I think I really enjoyed that.
Again and again, I'm going to say the same thing. Not every answer has to be a 4-hour dissertation.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All you have to do is give an answer that puts them on the defensive.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Say something nice or not nice, but say something that makes them have to defend their beliefs. And not us have to defend why we don't believe, but have them defend why they do believe what they believe.
Right on.
At the basic thesis, basic theme. You know.
Yep. Very cool.
Yep.
And so, hang on one second.
Andrea's husband got ordained as a rabbi or just as a minister? Doesn't say. Yeah, church and spaghetti. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay.
Cool. Okay, good deal.
Actually, I find some people simply don't get sarcasm.
Yeah.
Yes. Please consider donating monthly or one time to help keep these shows free. This will assist William with ongoing and increasing expenses. Go to tanaktalk.com/donate.
Thank you, Rabbi. Oh, and by the way, check out our heads.
Yeah.
Wait,
by the way,
go.
put your head equal with mine in size.
Okay, let me
put your hat close so people can see it says Tanakh Talk.
Okay, I'll see if I can zoom in real fast. Hang on one second. Okay, give me just a second here. We'll make this happen. Only a few clicks away. Scale up. Hold it right there, and now mine. Oh, I gotta flip my rotation is backwards. Let me put it back to normal. There, and let's scoot me back over here. Now, it's not going to be the same size it can be, but it might be blurry. You can at least see it, though.
No,
you ready?
Not yet.
No, you will. Ready? I'm going to be half your size, but they'll be able to see it anyway. There it is. White hats, black hats.
I don't see it. I see my white hat.
It takes 20 seconds for you to see what I'm seeing.
Okay, you're right. I forgot.
All right, you see it yet?
There we go.
All right. Oh, you're hiding behind me, you turkey.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, how's that?
There you go. Okay. All right. That's funny.
Yes.
That's cool. Okay.
No, I went behind, yeah.
Now I will tell you this. So look at Rabbi Federow. So anybody who's gotten my hat so far, I actually sent these out because I was trying to figure out the most cost-effective way to send them. So I had a lot of people, even the post office, even recommended me packaging them up in padded envelopes. So that's what I did. But I realized after I started seeing a lot of people's photos, Rabbi, do me a favor, look straight at the camera.
Yep.
Okay, if you'll look right here, let me use my hand to do this. Right, if you look right about there, you can see this little dent. It's actually on both sides. And I realized that I'm going to keep doing this until you see it on your end. Be like 20 seconds worth of wiggling my finger back and forth.
Right there?
That right there, that little crease right, that little buckle right there, it's actually on both sides. It's also on this side as well. And it came from actually rolling it up. And so what I realized was if I shipped them in boxes, it's like $2 more, but I don't really care. I'm not going to change anything. But I would rather send them in boxes so that way they don't get creased like that. I just didn't know they were happening until I got like 5 or 6 or 7 photos all back to back to back. Yeah, well, I do. I've been wearing caps my whole life, and so I noticed it right away. So anyway, so I'm going to start shipping them out in boxes instead of actually in the envelope. So anyway. Carrying on, where are we at now? Let's see. That's actually it. That wrapped us up. Control Z. Let me put this back because I need to get this so we can. There we go. Boom, bada boom, bada boom. Okay, you see some of that crazy camera action going on. So anyway, all right. Well, man, I tell you what. Seriously, this is gonna be good. I'm gonna have to spend about another hour on this video, just going in and putting insert taglines.
Can I just say something to Janice?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Okay. Of course, there are plenty of interpretations of the Genesis story of the binding of Isaac. This is Janice Hart's comment. Okay. And I'm not saying that there aren't. 99.9% of them are they're going to say that Abraham passed the test. I'm not saying that, what I'm saying is the majority. Okay. But there is an opinion based on a comment by the Alter Ger Rebbe, okay, who said that God didn't really want Abraham to sacrifice his son, Isaac. So if that's the case, how do we understand the story? And the extension of that is that God's test of Abraham is that God wanted Abraham to say, no, I will not kill my son.
Right. In fact, he told him, stop, do not do that.
Right. But
that's the whole
point. Initial request,
right.
It says, and God tested Abraham. The test was not to see, in this one interpretation, the test was not to see if Abraham would do it. The test was to see if Abraham would say no to God.
Right.
Abraham had just argued with Sodom and Gomorrah with God. Abraham said, don't do it. Shall not the God of justice do justly? So for people he didn't know, he was willing to argue with God, for God's sakes.
Right.
Okay. But for his own family, he was willing to go kill his own son. Abraham, in this perspective, flunked the test. If you're close to somebody, you can argue with them. If you're not close to them, you're not going to bother arguing. If you see somebody doing something wrong, you're not going to go up to them and say, hey, don't do that if you don't know them. You only go up to them because you know them to correct them.
Right.
God wanted Abraham to feel so close to God that Abraham would correct God and say, I'm not going to do that. You said the covenant went through Isaac. If I kill Isaac, I'm making you into a liar.
Rabbi, where's your microphone?
I'm sorry. Right here.
Oh, thank you.
Here.
Okay.
See?
Okay,
always
good.
there. I didn't do anything. Okay. Okay. So
That's
my
better.
point is that, there are different ways to understand the whole binding of Isaac. And one way to understand that is that Abraham actually flunked the test because God wanted Abraham to tell God, no, I will not kill my own son, because that would turn you, God, into a liar. And if you take a look at the text itself, once Abraham picked up the knife to actually kill his son, God never spoke directly to Abraham again. In the beginning, God spoke to Abraham and said,
no kidding.
But from that point on, it's an angel of God who speaks to Abraham.
No kidding. That's a really good point.
It's as if God steps away from Abraham, says to the angel, pat him on the head, remind him of all the stuff I already promised him. None of the promises in Genesis 22 are new promises.
Right.
Abraham gained absolutely nothing by almost killing his son. Every promise God made, he had made before this. So it's like he says to the angel, pat him on the head. He thinks he did something right. He was supposed to defend his own children to me. He wouldn't do it. I'm done with him.
Right.
So when Christians try to make it look like Jesus was like Isaac being bound, you can always point this one isolated, little interpretation that says Abraham flunked the test instead of he passed it.
Right. Right.
Contradicts them and puts them on the defensive.
Mitch, just in case you didn't see my text earlier, good to see you back. Or you say back, you've probably been here. I don't check out the chat too much, but today, I do more so with
raise him up as a sacrifice. He never says to kill him.
Right on.
Yep.
Very good, man. What a great show tonight, Rabbi. I really mean that genuinely. This is
Frank,
probably
I can't either.
This probably will.
Place where it says, "Thus says the Lord your God," that I know of anywhere in the New Testament. It's always Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. So
Frank the Tank says, can you think of anywhere in the Christian scriptures that the writer dares to say, "Thus says the Lord thy God"?
No, I can't either. Mm-mm.
Nice. Frank the Tank. Good one. Mitch, again, thank you. Andrea, golly. Oh, by the way, hey, you guys all, I'm going to bring this up. Most of y'all know this already. But Julie, who is also not only one of my head admins, but she's also a host of Tanakh Talk on Women's World on Mondays, which didn't happen today. They're actually Rabbi Yitzchak and Leah, the wife, are dealing with the funeral situation. May or may be a blessing. But Julie just recently got married. Yes, so Julie and Jem,
Tov, Julie.
When you come back to watch this, and I hope you do, from all of us here on TNT, Mazel Tov for sure, no doubt. And so that's why you don't see her here. So I see Andrea and Larry and Mitch. Thank you guys for being so steadfast and helping us out here. Really good having hands on deck for sure. All right, so thanks for Federow and teaching. Oh, cool. Janice Hart says, thank you, Rabbi Federow. I've never heard that teaching. Always learning. Fantastic.
Like I said, it's not a normative. It's not the majority by any stretch of the imagination, but it is there.
Right.
It's the Alter Ger Rebbe in his book, Safat Emet.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, Rabbi, love you, man. Thank you all for tuning in.
I love you too, William.
Hey, seriously, though, guys, if you want to help us out, definitely every little bit helps. A lot of times people see, if you donate monthly, that's like a big commitment. I mean, there's buy me a coffee for like $3 or $5. I don't know what it is, but I know I waste a lot of money during the week buying, things that I don't need.
Every little bit helps.
Every little bit does help. And so, and the bills just keep piling up. So, TanakhTalk.com/donate or Patreon.com/TanakhTalk. So, those both work. So, thank you. And again, Rabbi, I love you. Thank you for your help and your awesome wisdom. And we look forward to seeing you guys, Hashem willing, same time, same place next week. Baruch Hashem, we will see you guys on the other side. Take care, folks. Finger dance, Rabbi. People have been waiting for it.
I've been waiting for it. I've missed it.
All right. Peace out, everybody. Shalom.
חשוב והכרחי להיות ביחד. איפוק זו העוצמה, ויתור זו הגדולה, השאיפה והכמיהה. אני אתה אתם תמיד כולם ביחד. חשוב מכל חשוב והכרחי להיות ביחד.